All right, so while Americans all around the country celebrated Memorial Day yesterday and over the weekend by remembering those who died serving this great nation, the town of Beverly, Massachusetts, well, they decided to cancel their annual Memorial Day parade, a tradition of more than 100 years. But after choosing to spend more than 30 grand on a parade earlier this month honoring American Idol finalist Angie Miller, we got to ask the question, where's this town's priorities? Now, that's not the only bizarre story from the holiday weekend. Actress, Obama supporter Lena Dunham is stirring up some controversy after tweeting two inappropriate, downright insulting messages. Yesterday, she wrote, quote, "Happy Memorial Day. I've already peed in 2 different Starbucks bathrooms." Then on Sunday, she tweeted, "It's my sincerest hope that the act of dying feels like finally peeing after a long, bumpy car ride." Joining me with reaction, comedian Jim Norton, Fox News contributor, editor for townhall.com, Katie Pavlich. That's not even funny. I mean, at least if it was funny, you might give it a pass, but it's just crude and rude and mean.
I'll be honest, I didn't think that her tweets were directed at veterans. I think that was 2 different thoughts. Like, hey, happy Memorial Day, and then you throw in some weird disconnected thing. Because, I mean, I'm interested in her urinary habits anyway, so I was happy to read that.
Well, I think it would have been nice if she gave the location as a warning for everybody else.
Absolutely, so I could go right in after. But I honestly don't think...
So you could stay out after, yeah.
I don't think that she was slamming veterans at all, and I don't think that the one about dying and peeing was connected to veterans at all. I honestly don't.
You really don't?
Yeah,
no, but you want to give people a pass as often as you can because you believe in freedom of speech. You have a pretty blue, hard-hitting, risque comedy act.
Yeah, I'm a creep. But I mean, if somebody doesn't say anything, like in this case, I just think, and there's a lot of these.
You're not a creep in real life. This is an act for you.
Yeah, my act is dirty, but I'm a very sweet boy in real life.
Yeah, well, I'm not so sure you'd be dating anyone that I know or like or trust or care about. But all right. Katie, what's your thoughts?
Well, I'm not really sure when peeing became mainstream to talk about, but
in
this case, in this case, it seems like Lena Dunham is trying to fill the shoes of Jane Fonda, and that's not a good thing. And it would be nice if Lena Dunham understood the fact that she has the freedom and the ability to write her scripts for her girls show in English, thanks to all of the men and women who have sacrificed their lives for her freedom and the First Amendment over the years. So whether she thought of it or not, combining peeing with her Memorial Day tweet. The fact is she didn't acknowledge the fact that it was Memorial Day and say something like, hey guys, thanks for dying so I can have my show on HBO.
But I think if she said Happy Memorial Day and then just said something silly, I think there's something sincere about saying Happy Memorial Day. I mean, you can't believe everything you read. If you read my tweets, you'd think I'm a, sexually frustrated, broken, lonely man.
Are you?
Are you sure you're not?
Yeah, well, of course, I'm kidding. I certainly am.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, no, I just don't I think that they're making a big deal about it, but there's nothing to it.
You know something? Look, there's a lot of things. Everything's fair game in your world of comedy. Everything. Yes. And you know what? I listen to you, watch you. I think you're funny, very funny. But you know something? When we have one day to honor people that died and gave their life for freedom, I don't want to put the two together. You know what? There's some, I'm sure you have lines you do not cross.
Occasionally I'll put a line in, but like something like this is something that I would have tweeted without thinking anything. And
you would have tweeted Happy Memorial Day. You believe, look, you like our military, you honor our military. All right. You would never have put the two together.
But I might have, not thinking that it was offensive. Honestly, I'm telling you, sometimes you write something,
you write too... It's offensive you didn't think about it. It's offensive you didn't think about it.
No,
it's offensive you didn't think about it.
It's not offensive if you don't think
it.
It's offensive. No, offensive is if you think about it and do it anyway. If someone steps on your foot by mistake, there's a big difference between that and then stepping on your feet on purpose. And you know that. And we don't celebrate Memorial Day the way you're probably supposed to anyway. We look at it as a day off from work. You know how that becomes, that's what people think of when they think of Memorial Day.
Coming from a long line of people who served overseas, going all the way back to World War II and the American Revolution, I do think it's offensive that you wouldn't think that on Memorial Day it would be inappropriate to combine a bodily function with Happy Memorial Day. And that's a cultural issue, and Hollywood has proven that they don't really care too much about the troops, and they definitely don't care too much about honoring them on Memorial Day.
But listen, if you're looking at it like that, you're trying to make something out of something that there is no issue of whatsoever.
Sorry, I think that people dying for the First Amendment and for our freedoms is something
I understand that. You should actually wave a flag while you say that. I get it. I like the troops.
I went to
Iraq. I performed for the troops. I got it. But I don't think that tweeting something that is just kind of a silly joke is disrespectful of the troops. Believe me, I've seen things that people said that were crappy and vomit-inducing and disrespectful. This was just not one of them. It was just a little silly joke that somebody tweeted not thinking. That's not a big issue.
Right. You should think more about it.
No, I never will think about it again when we're done, ever.
You're never going to think about it?
No, never.
All right. But you know what? You know what I found out through Ancestry.com? My grandfather fought in World War I, and then when he was 60, tried to fight in World War II. That was pretty amazing.
It is amazing. That generation, our generation's also very entitled. Like, we don't look at the sacrifice. We feel like we were owed the sacrifice. There's something crappy about this generation. Yeah, but that's got nothing to do with
But you know what? We should, that school system sucks so bad we don't remind people. But anyway, good to see you guys. Thank you, Katie.